Okay, so let's look at how for loops look in code. And we're going to use some user input. So I'm going to create my scanner. All right. First, I'm going to read a number from the user. I am going to remember to prompt first and read in after so that your user knows what you want from them. Your kb.nextInt should not come before your prompt. So I'm going to in x equals kb.nextInt because I'm reading in an integer. Now I'm going to show you two different loops. First, what we can do with that loop is if we want to print the multiplication tables from 1 to 12, I could obviously just make 12 print statements, or I can make one and a for loop. So I declare I initialize to 0. Oh, nope, I'm going to initialize it to 1 because I'm going to start at 1 and I'm going to go to 12. So if I want to start at 1 and go to 12, I'm going to do I equals 1, I less than or equal to 12, and I'm going to increment by 1 each time. So this is going to repeat 12 times. And I'm going to system.out.println I times x. You can use the value of I inside your loop, just like this. You can use it to do math, you can use it to print, it doesn't matter. You can use it. It exists inside the loop for more than just an internal counter. So when we run this, if I give it a 5, it's going to print the 5 times tables. And I could make this fancier. I could make it go I plus times plus x plus equals plus I times x. I could do that if I wanted it to look a little bit nicer. Let's see. Okay, I'll enter 12 this time. 1 times 12 is 12, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so you can see how we use both the counter variable and a user given variable inside a loop here. We can also use the user entered variable to control how many times our loop repeats. So we can use I again because this I stopped existing here. The compiler is not going to be mad about us creating I again here because as far as the computer is concerned, after it stops existing here, it can totally start existing again right here. So I'm going to start at 0 and I'm going to go I less than x. So it's going to repeat x times. And I'm going to I plus plus. And I'm just going to print a single word. I'm just going to print hello. So depending on forgot my out. Okay, so if I enter 3, I still get my 3 times tables, and then it repeats 3 times. And if I enter 10,000, it prints just a whole heck of a lot of times, doesn't it? Okay, so those are 2 ways we can use user input, both inside our loops and literally in the code that it controls our loops. Now I want to show you one more thing, and that is a nested for loop. You're not going to use that this much. You're not going to use this much this trimester, but you will need to use it quite a lot next trimester. So I'm going to make a normal. I'm going to print the multiplication tables out in a grid. So you may have seen this before, where it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 11, 12. Across and also down, so that you can go like, oh, 3 times 4, and there's the answer right there in the middle, in the 3rd row, 4th column, that kind of thing. So we're going to print that out. So I'm going to start I at 1. It's going to go until 12. I'm going to increase by 1. But inside this, I don't want to make 12 print statements in here. So what I can do is I can actually create another for loop inside this for loop. Look, see that it is inside the for loop. It is between the open and the close brackets of the for loop. I also have to use a different variable because I already exists inside this scope. So I'm going to use a J. And, oh man, stop that. Equals 1. Same thing, right? Because I want to go from 1 to 12 until J is 12. Make sure your condition here does concern J and not I, like I mistyped, because that is a logic error. It will compile perfectly fine, and you will end up with an infinite loop in your interior loop. And then I'm going to put a system.out.print because I want all of these to be on the same row. So I'm going to do I times J plus a space. And then obviously at the end of the row, if I was typing this, I would hit the enter key to start a new line. I can't really do that, but I can print a new line character, which looks like this. Has to be this kind of slash, not this kind of slash, this kind of slash, not this kind of slash. And that is essentially the same as saying, okay, hit enter and start a new line in the console. So when I do that, enter a number. Let's do 2. Okay, so we print our 2 times tables. This is not dependent on user entered variable, so it's going to be the same every time. But you can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and we've got our squares going down the diagonal. It gets kind of wonky down toward the end because obviously 3-digit numbers are not going to line up well with 2-digit numbers or 1-digit numbers. But you can see that it worked. It worked and it's working and it's great. Okay. So right now during this unit, I don't necessarily need you to be able to create these, but I do want you to see them and understand what they're doing and whether or not they will be infinite loops or, you know, what have you. You just need to be able to look at them and determine what they're going to do just like any other loop, but you don't need to use them in your coding yet. Mostly your practice is going to focus on these 2. Okay, so be sure to let me know if you have any questions. Don't forget to submit your follow along. Bye.